All right, so now we're live. Anyone that's viewing the YouTube can see us and they can see you.
Oh, Father, tell me we get what we deserve. Oh, we get what we
All right,
deserve.
our YouTube viewers, you guys can see a little sneak peek of what we got going on. I see we got a few viewers on now.
Way down we go. Oh, 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 so way down we go.
David's like, "What's going on?" Because he can't hear the music.
Here, can you hear it? I can feel it. I'm here.
Whoa, you let your feet run
All right, we're gonna be going live on the network app right now. We're at 420.
Yeah, but for the folk who my heart, do you dare to look me right in the eyes? Yeah. Oh, cause say we run you down till the door. Yeah, someday we run you down till you fall. Oh, and they will run you down till you go.
What's up, YouTube viewers? What's up, TGN radio app listeners? I'm gonna let this rock for a bit as we get ready. We got the chat lines already going through. We got Penny there saying, "Hey Sheila, what's up?" We got folks from Miami listening to us. If you're listening in from the TGN Latinx or the Good News Radio app, make sure to go in the chat lines. Hop on that chat line. If you got questions for our guests, make sure to get those in. Call in the studio as well. You guys can also call into the studio. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Said Connects. We're live from the TGN Latinx station. We are Said Connects, Cannabis Entrepreneurial Dialogues. This is your host, Danny, and I got a few special guests in the house today. I have a special co-host with me. If you can see her to my right or maybe your left or my left, I got my mom in the house. Sheila, what's up, mama? How are you?
Hello, my love.
You
How are
gotta
you?
you gotta get into the mic, mom.
How are you? How
Thank
you
you.
doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. Well, actually, a little nervous that you're here. To be real, to be completely honest, I'm a little nervous that you're here. And we got Jay also checking us out as well. But Said Connects. Our mission is to create spaces and for people of color, brands of color, minorities that are in the cannabis space to elevate their voices, educate and empower our communities. We are coming to you again live from the TGN Latinx station. We got a few sponsors that we got to shout out this month. We have some new sponsors. First sponsor that we have is Smoke Apparel. Smoke Apparel, they're a cannabis lifestyle brand that advocates for social equity and all cannabis. They have some of the dopest gear in the world, and you can go ahead and check out their website at smokeapparel.com, or you can also visit their Instagram at Smoke Apparel. That's CHMOKE Apparel. Go ahead and check those guys out. Let them know that we sent you, and they'll go ahead and take care of you guys. Our second sponsor that we have is Can. We got, they sent us up. They hooked us up last month. I mean last episode, and they're also hooking us up this episode. We got a few drinks in the house. Today we have blood orange, and we also have the grapefruit rosemary. What did you think of the drink, Mom?
It's really good.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Okay.
For now.
All right, well, we're gonna speak in that mic. What about you guys? What do you guys think of the?
I'm honestly a really big fan of this company as it is. My favorite is the cranberry sage, but I never had the grapefruit one, and this one's actually really good.
Yeah, I like how it's light. It's light. Like we talked about last week, the THC dosages are really low. I think
Mhm.
David touched on it that
Right.
because of that we could drink a lot
The
more of
taste and the
it.
dose is light, so you can
Yeah.
keep running with it,
Exactly,
and you
exactly.
don't get in trouble. It's nice. It's got a nice little sparkle to it.
For sure, for
Fresh
sure.
taste.
We're excited to have our special guest in the house. We have quite a few of us. If you guys are watching on YouTube, we have Paul Well Cosmetic Cannabis. Did I say that wrong? Paul Well Cannabis Cosmetics.
Danny, cut it. Cut the show. Start over. No,
All
I'm
right.
just kidding.
My bad. Let's start over.
No, we are the Powells
Powell's got it.
Cannabis Company, and God willing, we'll get into a lot of the arms and the tributaries of this river and how this thing runs today. But our namesake, David Pauwels, to my left, viewers right, he'll get it kicked off really quickly and explain how things happened. I think.
Yeah, for sure. So let's introduce our guests. We have David, Nene,
Ninny.
Nini.
Mhm.
We have Nini, and then we got Jeff. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Doing great. Thank you, Danny.
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
I'm stuck up on this grapefruit rosemary. I'm a grapefruit addict.
Are you?
It's a real thing. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
real thing in
yes.
my life. So, thanks.
Thank
I'm
you.
all
No,
about it.
straight up. Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
And thank you for sponsoring our episodes. We really appreciate it. So about them, I don't know if I brought it up last week, but I honestly just sent them an email, not even an email, a DM. Just like, shut I'm literally I said, I'm gonna shoot my shot. Can you guys sponsor me? And they were like, yeah, sure. I was like, cool, perfect. I wish it was that easy with everyone.
Bravo.
Yeah.
But so thank you guys for letting us in and
Very nice.
and providing us with some drinks. So let's get into you guys. Where are you guys from? David, where are you from, David?
So
Get into that
my,
mic, David.
my mom and dad are from. So my mom's from San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
My dad's parents were from Belgium.
All
And
right.
So, but I live in Humboldt currently.
You live in Humboldt.
Yeah.
Always lived in Humboldt?
No, I lived in California all my life.
Okay.
Southern California.
Nice.
LA, all over all parts of LA.
All right.
So yeah, and migrated to Humboldt.
And migrated to Humboldt.
Yeah.
What led you to Humboldt?
Just the things I was working on. I saw the future being in Humboldt. When it came to brass knuckles, it was like, okay, I got to make relations with the farmers, and I got to take care of them. And if I'm gonna have a brand and I'm gonna have different products out there, I wanted to gravitate closer toward the farmers, and they were a lot further at that time.
Yeah. Especially
so
from
I
out
went
here,
to
right?
Humboldt, and then when we get into the paper, there was ideas of taking taking the waste and making it into the products that we're gonna make. So,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about.
Absolutely. We'll definitely be getting into that. And how about you?
I grew up in Diamond Bar. I went
Okay.
to school in Pomona. Yeah,
P-Town, right?
yeah, P-Town. Party open P-Town all the time growing up. Went to school in Diamond Ranch over there. Yeah, I lived over there and then got with David. Actually, his parents lived a block away from my parents. So I known this fool since I was 3 years old.
Dang.
I got with my brother's best friend. So
Pretty much.
All right. What about you, Jeff?
I am an LA transplant, which is probably not very unique, but born and bred in the Midwest. Came up in a beautiful little burg called Iron Mountain, Michigan, which is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. There's somebody out there that knows exactly where that is, and followed my wife Landy here to Los Angeles almost 20 years ago. So I feel like I've had a really good dose of both sides of this country anyway.
Yeah.
And I've been embraced out here in LA by my wife's family. So makes my mama happy too. I know that she knows I'm safe and sound and taken care of quite well.
And I'm sure moms appreciate that,
We
right?
sure do. We sure do.
And what was your upbringing like, Jeff?
My upbringing,
Yeah, like were you guys was cannabis always accessible to you?
that's a
And what was that? What was that messaging like for you growing up?
that's a really great question, Danny. Thank you for that. Again, geographically speaking, state of Michigan, not a big town. There was always a taboo feel. There were always those labels put on. Just call them kids, whatever. Who knows? I was like 12 at the time, but they might have been 18, they might have been 20, and they were this and they were that, and it was, I think, a resounding message to stay away. Right? Obviously, I'm not quite that old to have been forced into the whole reefer madness situation. I've seen it, I understand it, whatever. But for me, it was a lot of things behind the veil, right? Not a lot of talk about it. It's just bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. Now, to the credit of my folks and everybody learning together in adulthood and talking about things. Before I lost my daddy in February, he, without fail, had relief from this serum. And that began a dialogue in and around my family members, those who are older, my contemporaries, that just like, this is cannabis, right? This is cannabis. This is what this plant is about. It's not about smelling a certain way. It's not about sneaking off in the corner. It's not about, oh, those guys just smoked. It's a wide, beautiful spectrum of things. And by the grace of God, David and Nini have opened that up to me personally even more.
And I'm glad you brought those things up, because that's one of the main points that we want to bring up in the show, is that there are other alternatives to the plant. It isn't just smoking. And so being able to have you guys in the building to be able to educate our listeners about different types of alternatives, I think is definitely what we on our mark. And so we really appreciate all the work that you guys are doing. And we'll definitely want to learn more about that as the day goes on. What about you, David?
I remember that smell when I was knee high to a grasshopper. I used to call them my dad's funny cigarettes.
Your dad's funny cigarettes.
My family wasn't afraid to. I mean, it's not like I smoked it. I didn't even touch it till I was 19, as a matter of fact. So, but they.
And what do you think that attributed to? Because it was accessible to you, because you saw that.
It wasn't nothing that I was. I knew what it was. I knew that the adults did it, and that was what they did. It wasn't until I was older, and then you grow up and you get the confusing part of it from the the common. Not everyone, the status quo,
Right.
So then there's that, but I always knew down inside there's nothing wrong with that plant. That didn't even slip my mind. And then now we've evolved to giving it to family members and seeing cancer go away in some cases. And I already kind of had that back in. I would tell my family members in Texas, oh yeah, those look like my dad's funny cigarettes. So yeah, I knew about it when I was young, and we were open in our family and used it to heal several of our and help heal in some cases, and in some cases to help cope with things that they're taking them down. There's a lot of things out there, and so we need to get some cannabinoids in our system.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's
that's it. Yeah,
I remember the smell, familiar smell since I was a little kid.
Yeah, and the smells obviously, like, it brings up memories, and it triggers something in the brain to be able to, like, I remember that. Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was mainly on my dad's side, right?
Yeah.
But there was my grandma. See, I grew up with both sides.
All right.
So my grandma's side, my mom's side, her mom, my grandma, she didn't really, she knew what I did, but didn't condone it. Did old school mentality until, like Jeff with his dad. I came home one night. I was driving from Humboldt. I was like, why is grandma's light on at 2:30 in the morning? Because I'm getting in late. And so she's up, they're in there with her. She can't even get up to go to the restroom. So I pull out the jar. The grandma, I'm not going to lie to my grandma. I tell her what it is. She said, put it on, mijo. Put it on. And within 8 minutes, she starts feeling relief. Then she gets up, walks to the bathroom on her own. So that was her. That was how she's like, okay, I like this stuff. So now every day they put it on her twice a day.
Nice.
So it's good to be able to do that and see that being in the industry so long.
Yeah.
Seeing all these things starting to open up.
For sure.
It feels good.
Absolutely. And how about you?
I was raised by a Middle Eastern woman who thought that cannabis was poison.
Okay.
Um,
The devil's lettuce.
every little aspect name for it. It was bad, 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 bad,
Right.
bad all around. Even she knew her children smoked cannabis growing up and stuff. She would say, "Oh, I go to my legal drug dealer. You guys go to your little street dealer." I said, "Mom, CVS is your drug dealer." She's like, "Yes, CVS is my personal drug dealer. You guys have to go on the streets to get your drugs." So that mentality. But like obviously, everyone's minds are changing and they're
Right.
seeing the truth from it. And my mom's now looking at it like, okay, this isn't as bad as I used to think it
When
was.
did that shift happen?
Just seeing me in the industry and
Gotcha.
not being afraid to tell her that yes, your daughter's in the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
And at first she's like, "What? You're supposed to go to school to be part of communications, not in the cannabis industry." So, but she appreciates everything I'm doing, and she saw a different aspect.
Yeah.
Because especially I'm getting into we got into cosmetics with it. So she's like, "Oh, I thought it was only smoking." I said, "No, Mom, there's so much more elements and everything about cannabis."
Yeah.
So now she's like, and where I'm educating her, and she's now understanding, like, whoa, I didn't know that there was a whole different side of
Right.
cannabis. I thought it was just to get high and stupid. That's
Yeah.
what she just thought from
Mhm.
originally. And then you know what, be crazy and jump on the roof. That's what she really thought it was.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Because even educating her and telling her that, you have cannabinoids in your body, she freaked out. She was like, "No, I don't have cannabis in my body." I said, "Mom, you have it. It's in you. It's in you."
It's in you. Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that. It's in you. What about you, Mom? What was that? What was it like for you growing up?
Well, my dad used to basically use it when he was a student. So I remember me being about maybe 7 6 7 years old, and he would bring his friends to study, and he will have like a little box, and I will sit on his lap, and he would be like rolling it, and I'd be like, "Okay, I'll do it," and I will basically lick the paper, and they will be smoking, and they will be studying. But my from my mom's side, that was like, oh my god, that's the worst thing that it can happen. But from my dad's side, um I had my dad, and then I had my grandma that she used to basically put it like a little piece on alcohol or on any, and she would like blend it, and she had arthritis, so I would see her like putting it on her to get rid of the pains. So I had both spectrums really good. So
And where did you grow up, Mom?
I grew up in El Salvador until I was 14. Then at 14, I moved to Los Angeles, and we stayed in Inglewood and Hawthorne for basically until 13 years ago that I moved to Miami.
Nice. Thank you for that. Now, what were you guys doing before working in the cannabis industry? If you guys weren't working it,
Well, I did inventory. So I would
Okay.
count, do the inventory for liquor stores, gas stations, all in California. My parents own an inventory company.
all right.
So I would literally sit there and count cigarettes and paper and all the alcohol drinks. I knew everything wholesale price. So I knew what deals I was actually getting at the stores
Right,
and which ones were ripoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I counted all that. I saw how much money people made off out liquor, beer, cigarettes. Cigarettes, they don't make that much. Cigarettes were only in the store to get people to come in to buy the booze and everything else.
Yeah.
So I saw the whole. Yeah, I've seen all from the deal, distribution, all that.
And I'm sure that's
Mhm.
helpful now, right?
Well, yeah, it
Especially
is
now
helpful
with
now.
this industry, and
Mhm.
not many people that are coming into the industry have that knowledge or information, or even think of that you utilizing those points in running their business for
Mhm.
whatever reason. At least that's some of the things that I've ran into is that isn't a concept that has been thought of. Like, so I'm sure that
Well, yeah,
benefits you guys.
Yeah, well, seeing the cost of everything, like
Right.
guaranteed, every store makes 30% off Frito-Lay chips. It's a set price. So you see all the margins and everything on how much every store actually makes off each product.
Yeah.
And it's not over 100% that they make off a product at all.
Like in the cannabis
Yes,
industry
in the
now,
cannabis industry,
right?
yes, that's what's happening.
Yeah. So what would you like to see change in that aspect of the industry?
I mean, more of like a an evil an even playing field.
Yeah.
Because like when I see with alcohol prices and everything, they make about 25 to 30%, maybe 45% off a bottle, they like you. So you see where the alcohol companies get their money. The person that owns the store gets their money. Everyone is, getting their
Get
cut
an
properly.
even cut.
Yeah, an even
Right.
cut. Where it seems like the farmers are getting screwed, the distributors are getting screwed, and then the retailers are making the most. That's what I'm seeing. Like,
yeah.
especially for us in our own product, I'm seeing that. I'm like, no, we need to create an actual margin where everyone is making
Yeah.
their cut.
No, for sure. And that information is
Mhm.
important even for the listeners to understand. Like, people think that, going into the cannabis industry, there's so much money to be made. And yes, in some points it's true, but in other instances, like a distributor, like, you're not making as much as maybe you think
Mhm.
they might be making, because you're not thinking of all of the compliance side of things, right? They're not thinking of the labels that need to be placed, the testing that needs to be done. All these different things add up till by the end of the day, when you've completed your batch and everything is tested and ready to go, you're already in the hole, I don't know, $10,000-$15,000 without even stepping foot into a shop. And then once you do, you're barely making a little of that profit, right? Is that something that you guys have
It'll get
experienced?
better. It's just you have to hold on. If you're the little guy, you hold on. You
Yeah.
get through it. As soon as the feds come in and release it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, that helps too. But you got to remember, there's since 1930s all the way to 1996 was the first medical program, Prop 215. That's
Yeah.
a lot of years of bad habits and things going on that you have to now reverse and get in, right? So there's a lot of things that have to happen, but it's pretty quick. It's happening pretty quick.
All right.
You can't
Yeah.
really complain.
I think too, Danny, it's also undeniable when it comes to the consumer. So you see legalization sweeping across this country with the hope and thought that the federal veil is going to drop pretty quickly. For me, on the federal side of things, I mean, quite obviously, there's a boatload and then some of money to be made by the federal government. Everybody understands that.
Yeah.
Taxation on its face. But what I think is so interesting is no retailer, no distributor, no manufacturer would do anything if folks weren't buying the products, right? It always comes down to the customer. The customer's not always right, but the customer's always the customer. My dad told me that years ago. If they're not taking the monies that they earned in whatever fashion, right? But it's technically, right? Is that a recreational issue like alcohol is? I mean, however you want to classify it, but it's the consumer that's choosing to do it. And we keep them forward in our minds. Obviously, everyone in the space is a pro-profit business.
Right.
Everyone is trying to make money. We get that.
Yeah.
I think what's disconcerting at times is there's a misperception and there's lack of perspective sometimes on the part of the consumer because they're seeing the front end of the advertising aspect. They're seeing the huge, incredible names behind certain brands, which again, I'm not here to disparage anybody. That's not the point. I just sometimes backpedal in fear that this could potentially turn into what big tobacco and big alcohol did. And there's a couple of players on the field and everyone else that really had merit and conviction and would do this with a lot of money or not is going to get pressed out the game.
Yeah.
And a lot of those men and women up on the hill, they would do this regardless. David would tell you he's got years of relationships and
families
and envy as well.
Passed down.
They would do this regardless. So that for me is the thing that can be just a little bit off-putting, and I think that's why Nini's commentary regarding an evenness to it.
Yeah.
If this were fists, we'd all be drunk, Danny. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but we're going to try to do our part, and we're going to do that in the way of, I think, our pricing. For one, we're going to keep it affordable to those people that have already received healing. Excuse me, I don't know if I should say healing, but relief of discomfort. And anecdotally, what we have seen, this panel of three and our loved ones that are constantly under the barrage of what we say, we've seen a lot of people feel better, bottom line.
Yeah.
And we're just going to push to make that happen every time. And the rest will just kind of flow.
Yep. Yeah.
We
like
knew
that.
it was going to take an innovative product. The companies that are suffering now are the producers, the growers, because if they're not vertically integrated with a product that's innovative enough to take off, then it's going to be hard for them to sustain. They're going to have to sell to a bigger company. And that's why our motto is to get together with a lot of those companies. That's another reason when you asked me why I moved to Humboldt was to organize a lot of the farmers that I saw this was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I have a couple innovative products that I can get them on board, and we can work together to keep them in the game, keep a fair price. And so that's where we come from. We just make innovative products. When the thousands, millions of people go that way, we go turn around and go this way. It's a little tough going your own way.
Right.
But hey, if we feel like we got something, and like he said, every time somebody comes to us with something new about our cream, it just makes us drive a little harder.
Absolutely.
Make people feel good.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I completely understand that point, because even with just something as similar as this network, any feedback that I get, I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't think of it that way, or I didn't see it in that perspective, or I didn't use it in that way, but I can see how that works. So I'm glad that you guys are also taking in that feedback and putting it towards your products as well.
And it takes a team,
Yes.
Us three here. This is what we got.
And about that, how did the three of you guys form together?
I'll take it, actually. No, we're pretty faithful people to start. That's really important for us to say. Nothing without God, everything with God, right? So David's tiatita grew up 3.5 blocks from my wife in Eagle Rock. And she is an amazing character, person, human, and just walked up on me one day and said, "My nephew invented cannabis paper." I went, "What?
What?
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 I said,
He
"What?"
invented what?
And literally from that point, obviously the dialogue opened up, and she brought us all together. David and I, and Nini, I will not discredit you in the least in this conversation. We just grew as friends quickly. Of course, with my wife, Landy, as well. There's a very strange, very odd, very beautiful incumbent trust that we have. And David said it. You make those decisions, lots of naysayers, lots of people that love you that are like, "Yo, are you sure about this?" Everybody and their mama's in the cannabis industry. Everybody knows somebody, knows somebody, knows somebody. But I would just be really calm, and I would say, "Yeah, but they don't have this. They didn't do this. It doesn't make us better than or less than. It does make us that different." And that's why, Denny, to you and your family, and Said Connects, and to Latinx and the Good News Network, we're so grateful for this opportunity. Yep. I can only stand on the corner enough till the police come and they're like, "Bro, stop talking cannabis on the street. Get out of here."
Right.
That's
He'll
enough.
do it too.
And I'll do it.
I believe it.
Give
I
it all
believe
out
it.
for free, right, buddy?
I believe it.
We just really appreciate these opportunities because we do understand that this is what it takes. It takes love, and it takes that commonality of people like you, Danny, to be like, "Yo, these guys are onto something." Shout out to the Seventh Wave family, Timo up north, supporting us in way of distribution.
Yeah, we'll get
we're
to
blessed,
them.
We're blessed.
Yeah,
and
we'll definitely get to
A lot
them.
of people in our lives that
Absolutely, I love those
blessed us,
guys.
and
I love them.
We're very fortunate. So that's how we met. Forgive me, I got off on a tangent.
Yeah.
But Tita, you're out there listening. Thank you, girl. Thanks for bringing
Thanks,
this whole thing
Tita.
together.
Thank you for putting them together. Absolutely. Last night when we were doing some research, and we were listening to other interviews that have taken place, one of the questions that came up in conversation between my mom and my partner Julia was the name, right? How the name came to be, and specifically the cosmetic side of the name, right? And mom, stop me and explain a little more, or do you want to take on that?
As soon as basically I saw Cannabis Cosmetic, I went to your guys' website and I'm like, "Oh my God, I can get my blush, I can get my my makeup remover, I can get this." And then I'm like, "Wait, there's no makeup there."
Right.
So, and then he was telling us that's cosmetic going to the creams. And me and Julia, we were like, "Well, for us women, this is not cosmetic. This is a cream. This is an ointment."
Mhm.
So with that, like, is there any? Have you guys gotten any like confusion?
I thought you meant
from
the name, like the brand Pauwels.
No,
No, no,
that's-
no, no,
that-
no, no, I'm
the
talking- right.
cosmetic part.
No, I'm talking more about like the cosmetic, because we have the name Powell Cannabis Cosmetics, right? And so, like, do you guys get
I
in
believe
there?
that others in the industry before us that had a platform, the chance to do everything correct way, whether they did it correct or not, they have salves, they have lotions, they have things that are all combining the same stuff,
Yeah.
same ingredients. So ours is we wanted to break that common, like, hey, no, this is a different product because there's activated oxygen in it, so it's good for all types of skin ailments and things like rosacea, psoriasis, blemishes. So when you put your makeup on and before you put it off, you put this on. So it's a different type of cosmetic, but it's a
Yeah.
cosmetic. I'll let Nini explain it a little
Okay,
bit.
so actually in the law and everything, a cosmetic is something. It's I should state it. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'll intervene on
Yeah,
on,
you can intervene,
on this
Joe.
side of it in the way of cosmetics. David and Envy are forward thinkers.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is literally undeniable. Again, I mentioned it earlier. When cannabis is fully legal in this country, okay, we foresee an unbelievable need for a variety of cosmetic products, right? SKU after SKU after SKU. And what's noteworthy is that David said there have been a lot of things done before and they work. So again,
Right.
it's not about that. Rather, when we get into it and you see that it is our formula, you see, it's the actual formula that David and Envy have worked to patent, quite frankly, and our ability to add and remove different media or items to suspend that are going to create some unreal things. Am I allowed to say what some of the stuff is or not?
Yeah, you can.
You could say so.
Okay, you ready, Danny?
I'm ready.
Shampoo and conditioner, beard balm, mouthwash and toothpaste, anti-aging serum, body butter, shea butter. There's just a lot coming, you guys. So, Mama, that was a really good question.
Really good question.
Because you're right. On its face, it's like, well, where's the cannabis?
We're the only
eyeshadow?
company that's cosmetics. That's why if you
Exactly.
looked it up, we're the only
Right.
company.
And because we
There's a lot more to
heard,
come.
right, because we heard like it's good for eczema. We heard those things. And so, like, for me, my daughter has eczema as well. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, to cure the eczema portion of what she's going, it's an ointment that I'm only using maybe once or twice or as needed, right? Supplemental, right? And then when you think of cosmetics, you think of the lipstick, the eyeliner that's being used
Or a
daily,
face mask, right?
or face mask
That's
that's
the
being
types of
used
stuff.
daily. I think, and Julia even brought up that it's like her routine,
Mhm.
right? Her routine
Yeah.
skincare. So the question was like, is there confusion sometimes? Did you guys run into that sometimes? But you've
Rarely.
answered it. You answered it. Like, it's forward thinking. It's you guys are thinking ahead of the game, and that, I think that's fucking dope.
That's
Well,
good.
the reality is the cosmetics realm of the whole world, even in the United States, I know, is not regulated. You guys know that. There's very, very little.
Mhm.
They're going to begin regulating it now. So we're ahead of all that. We're the first cosmetic company that's actually, you test our stuff, you're not going to find nothing. We don't even use beeswax or all these types of cosmetic products that go into regular cosmetics that aren't regulated. Now you're bringing them into an industry that's super regulated. So like he said, we're forward thinking. We've thought out, we've been through a lot of battles enough to think ahead now.
Yeah.
So yeah, the struggle is what makes you who you are.
And
Absolutely.
because of knowing about the purity of the products,
So
when it
pure.
came out and said cannabis cosmetics, I'm like, oh my god, now I can get that good product.
We got a lot of stuff coming.
Like
It's
hey,
coming.
for me
Yeah.
personally, I use it to for my moisturizer.
Okay.
So moisturizer is considered as a cosmetic. I
Right.
put it in my hair. It's my hair oil. So that keeps
Yeah.
my curls and everything calm and everything. I put it on before I put my makeup on. I use it to remove my makeup because it's the best thing I get for when I'm removing my eyes and all that. So that's where the cosmetic really does come in. And like for instance, our face washes, all our face washes are considered as cosmetic.
Mhm.
The minute you put an acne ointment in there, it's considered as medicine now.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where the cosmetic, name came from it too, and everything based off laws and FDA and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, no, and thank you for
Yeah.
clearing that up. Got the chat lines here. We got B saying hi, mom, and Julia. You had me at face serum. Sign me up.
It's
I know
coming,
she
Julia.
said it. I know she said that part. She didn't write it, but I can read her mind.
And the whole company is called Pauwels because if you turn a paper in, it's an A+, you put your name on it, right? So
Correct.
that's
Yeah.
why I said, what am I going? He helped me with this too, and so we put my name on it.
I love
Go.
it.
I'm ready to turn it in, guys. Let's go.
Got that
Nice.
A+.
A+.
And what about the little logo? What does the logo
Pauwels.
symbolize?
This is
Anything
Pauwels,
there?
Yeah, this
The
is
the little leaf.
That's the
That's the leaf of. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's a part of the cannabis
That's
See,
leaf.
a
a
lot
part
of
of the cannabis leaf.
it's
Well, that's part of trademarking and everything because
Yeah.
you can't actually have a cannabis leaf
but you can have a
trademark,
piece of it.
but you can have a
But you
piece
got
of
a
it.
piece of it. There you go.
As
So you
long
got
as
a
it doesn't
piece of
look-
the
yeah.
pie. I like that. You got the piece of the pie.
We want to promote a circular cannabis economy. We want to be the innovative company that doesn't cut corners, and relies on doctors to do studies and things of that nature. We're working on a few things with some doctors, so we're coming at them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Danny, I think what else is noteworthy is speaking with specificity surrounding this product, these cosmetic products. We really need folks to know that we use raw flower in these products. This is not a distillate derived product. This is just not something.
Before you continue,
Yes.
when you say a distillate derived product, what does that mean for our listeners that are not cannabis fluent? You know what I mean? Like
Most certainly.
what does that mean?
Most certainly. So in essence, we and with regard to distillate, again, I'm not anybody out there's like starting to steam and who's this dude talking mess about distillate. That's not my point. Rather, there is an extraction process, and those that are not aware, oftentimes there are some nasty chemicals that are used to do that. And I'm sure they work really, really hard to make sure that they extract all those chemicals too.
Sure.
But for us, we don't, right? And therefore, we know going in that we don't have to worry about any acetyl alcohol or any CO2 or any other things that could, no fillers, things that could possibly upset a test, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of people within our industry have said, why would you do that? You can do this much more
Efficiently or
efficiently, less
easy.
expensive.
Right.
And David and Ninvi never budged on it. Never. I mean, it just wasn't a conversation. There was a gentleman that approached us most
It wasn't
recently.
our product. Our product
Right.
didn't have it originally, and it works. So it wasn't our product. And cut corners, make money, still not our product.
It also, I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, that it keeps us in concert with our farmers. It keeps us very, very on task because everybody in this state has seen changes, let us say, in flower prices. And there are lots of reasons, a myriad of reasons. I don't think we'll get into it on this show, Danny. But for us to know that we can work with farmers and that there will be a steady stream of product going into this product, that helps them, that helps us, that helps our customers, everybody moving forward. So it's just one of those things. It's very, very important for us that cannabis flower goes into this product. And look at that, David. What are we doing right now? With one of our vertically integrated farmers, we're offering a BOGO, Danny. So you're going to buy that cream and you're going to get 1/8 of our flour for free.
Nice.
Mhm.
And it's just another way for us to support our farmers.
Yeah.
And David and I and Nini feel really like it's been fun too, because there have been a couple of cats that have said, wait a second, I'm going to give this to my mom. My mom has arthritis. Yeah, absolutely. Give it to your mom. I'm going to smoke the flour that went into the cream that is going to help my mom. Like, that's exactly right. That's exactly what you're going to do.
So the flour that comes with the BOGO deal is the same flour that was used in that specific batch.
Yes.
Bet.
Mhm.
That's dope.
Yes.
That's
So,
dope.
a little
Well, and
different.
then I want to add something to the
Yeah, please. Because I
using the raw
heard
flour.
I heard about you.
Mhm.
I heard that you're this mad scientist that formulates
She's the
that you
golden
created the
goose.
Yeah.
formulas and so
I start the idea, and she starts running on. We're having
Yeah.
this, right?
So our skin is the largest organ on our bodies, and it absorbs. So whatever you put onto it absorbs it. So if you're using cannabis that was extracted by alcohol, you're adding alcohol to your system. A little bit traces of it, and alcohol is horrible for your skin.
right.
I mean, we all know with hand sanitizers how much of our hands have dried up, and we have to add now more lotions and everything to
Yeah.
it because it doesn't. It's the worst thing to put on your face anywhere on your body.
Yeah. So
And-
how would one know whether it has alcohol in the balm or the oil?
Well, obviously with testing everything, you can see it because everyone can look up what's in the products.
Okay.
Everyone can go look up, if right now, if I wanted to go test even this drink, see their test results, I can go
Yeah.
see them. The best example to show everyone how your body absorbs sugar. Absorbs whatever you put on it.
Yeah.
So you get a sugar cube and you put it on your hand. Pour a little bit of alcohol on your hand. You'll taste it in your mouth. The sugar will be sweet. So that shows that your skin is absorbing everything you're putting on it. So if you can eat it, you put it on your skin.
All right. I'm gonna try that when I get
Yeah.
home.
Which
Definitely
part?
try that.
You're going to eat cannabis or you're going to put the sugar cube on your paw?
Both.
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 If you do
That works.
cannabis
Is that a
first,
trick
you
question?
Well, and we see it too in today's world. We're changing. We're all changing. There's
Yeah.
stuff that women would use on their face that they do not use anymore at all because they
Yeah.
realize, oh my gosh, that was the worst thing I could ever done to my skin.
Right.
And I thought it was benefiting me, but it was not benefiting me at all.
Yeah.
And like he said too, testing in cosmetics there's no such thing. If we really tested all the makeup, like me, look at the
Yeah.
makeup I'm wearing. If I tested it, I probably would scare me and be like, no, I have to get rid of this
Yeah.
stuff.
Exactly.
You're right. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Our process is very clean. Activated oxygen, it's ozone, it cleans, right? So they say don't mess with the ozone because it's scrubbing and cleaning. So that's the difference in our product. When it goes on your skin, it doesn't just sit up there with milligrams and milligrams of cannabinoids. It's actually falling through the dermal layers. And as it's falling, it's doing one of two things. It's doing two things. It's O3 is killing and cleaning the pathogens that are causing the problems up on top of the skin. And at the same time, O3 has grabbed those cannabinoids and brought them down. So as it falls through the dermal layers and hits that spot in the muscle, grandma's arthritis, those types of pains, within 4 to 8 minutes, they begin to see relief.
Got
And
it.
it's not a placebo. We've studied this in the patent office. When you make patents, you have to do the work and you have to provide the research and the data. And yeah, it's
And how difficult was it to create that data? If you can speak on it.
No, yeah, it was difficult.
How
It was
difficult,
It was a lot of
especially
work.
with the scheduled one drug where testing on it is already difficult in itself. How are you guys able to accomplish that?
Well, it was hard, like to find labs and everything to do that was really difficult. I'm thankful for
Our
the cannabis
attorneys.
lab and them obviously.
Yeah, Ferrari money when they closed our shop down, and we'll get into that. I'm sorry, Cadillac money, but we had to use Ferrari money to get attorneys.
it.
Yeah.
Get the attorneys for this part, Denton Group, they're our attorneys, and they helped guide us on the right path and to do this successfully. It actually took us a while to do it with them because they had to do extensive backgrounds on this to make sure that, yes, it was outside of cannabis. And that goes to our original patent. There's 3 of them here now. So the original paper patent was, oh, wow, is this really outside of this? We can't touch this. We're a worldwide lawyer group. And they said, okay, so that kind of paper patent opened the door for us to work with a group that would have never touched cannabis.
Yeah.
These are the same attorneys that do work with Georgia Pacific and these types of companies. So, yeah, so we broke a wall down there, and now we're working toward more and more. The whole goal is really to get rid of those bad habits and stereotypics of hemp being cannabis. It's not. So you divide the line down and say, this is hemp, this is cannabis. These are the properties of hemp, these are the properties of cannabis. Let's face it, if you and I always use this analogy, because if you and I can sell a Rolex that was made in China legally for the prices of a Swiss, we do it all day, right?
Yeah.
And now that cannabis is becoming more and more legal, there's no more of that. And that's what makes it great for the pioneers and the people who are working on real work and different work and we'll suck it up. We'll take the hits until we get there. Whatever. It's cannabis. We've been here.
Yeah.
So we're going to stay.
David, you're looking at my notes because that was going to be my next question. The difference between hemp and cannabis.
Actually, we actually proved that. We actually did prove that in our patent, in our paper patent. The different ratio, they're completely different things. Yes, they're related, but they're not the same people.
Son primos. Then. They're
Son
cousins.
primos.
Cousins.
They're cousins,
They're
but
the
they're not the
cooler
same.
primo.
Mhm.
They're the cooler one.
Well,
One's
yeah,
a Kobe Bryant, one's a high school dropout. No,
Mhm.
I didn't mean it that way.
Oh.
Because they're both used. Okay, here's the thing. I love hemp, and hemp has been used for things like the rope because it's of its long fibers. But discovering the things that her and I have discovered, it came from our work in the garden and understanding the plant. And it stemmed from that, how the plant grows, how the root system goes, and how the whole stomach of the plant works. And if you look at the hemp plant, the hemp grows straight up toward the sun without any type of buds growing on them or any type of Imagine cannabis growing with buds in the wind. So it's getting a workout. Those are different fibers now that are growing, that are forming, and the fibers have a different kink ratio and a bunch of different stuff that we were able to prove. Here's a hemp fiber, here's a cannabis fiber. And so I'm not downing hemp. I'm just saying, if you can have a crop where you can get 2 birds stone, 1 doobie, let's do it.
Yeah.
If you're going to put all that work into that farm and all that same amount of things, let's get a recreational product, let's get a medical product, and let's package that stuff up in the same waste and not let it go as a waste when we got all these trees that we want to keep in the forest.
Yeah,
So there's all kinds of different aspects to it. But yeah, that's what I got
And
to
that's
say about
basically
that.
what I see on your
Yes. So
the paper.
Yeah.
yeah, that's like the thin for like
That's a thinner
rolling
piece,
paper
yeah.
to like thick to cardboard
It's a
paper.
paperboard packaging.
The catalyst and the driving force, Danny, behind all of this paper is the waste, the trash,
Yeah.
garbage. Folks are not
Can I see
discussing
that?
it.
Yeah, you can actually touch it.
Folks
Now-
are not discussing the millions of pounds of waste coming out of this country annually. So again,
Now this paper is from cannabis. It's
Yes.
not from
100%
hemp.
cannabis.
No, it's not
because
hemp at all.
that's one of my questions to you
Mm.
guys, because I was listening to the other show and you had
You
that
can hide that one.
You made
patent
it.
pending on the paper.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, patent pending on the paper from cannabis. But I did not make the distinguish until right now. Okay, no, it was not from hemp.
Yeah, we had
because
to- we had
back
to
in the 1800s, it was this country was basically funded and it was
Right.
relieved on paper, on anything that has to do with the hemp. They did paper, they did clothes, they did housing, they did cement, they did
Right.
all this stuff with hemp. So I'm like, how is it that they have a patent pending when they were using this a long time ago?
We're
but
the
it's
first
a
company to
completely-
actually go and say this is it right here on both our patents, that we said this is a difference in hemp and this is a difference in cannabis, when most companies just took the wind from cannabis and put hemp out there because it was a way to live off the cannabis as fire. You know what I mean? You
Mhm.
put something that was used as an industrial product into a vitamin, and now it's a hemp CBD vitamin.
Well, and I also think too, cannabis has been taboo for so long that people are just afraid to do anything with it. So
Yeah.
that's why they can lean towards hemp, because hemp was more acceptable, where cannabis was a very taboo thing to do. Period.
Right,
Like, you
right.
know,
Yeah.
David having possessive, like a seed on you at one point, you'd be in prison for 30 years. So it's just like no one wanted to do anything with cannabis.
Yeah.
So that all, when you look at the patents and everything, they're barely starting to come out. All these patents we're seeing now on cannabis are just starting.
So
The waste was put in the back burner. People weren't thinking about
Yeah.
the waste. Imagine like these counties and these planning departments having to do all this work to see who's going to grow it, who's going to distribute it, and where it's going to be regulated. The waste was one of the things they weren't thinking about. So we've created a way to make actual product out of the waste.
It's nice and soft and pliable and
Yeah. Well, so our patent has 117 applications, which means you can use it. We can make corrugated cardboard paper, paperboard packaging, rolling paper, and craft paper. I think that's all the paper.
Well, and that was the biggest thing
Oh,
that
and
helped us.
absorbent paper.
Yeah, that was the thing that helped us create our paper. Was, you know, you're buying all these rolling papers to make your make your products, your joints, and everything. And we're like, why are all these papers coming from France or Germany or Spain or Indonesia and China? Where's our paper?
exactly.
Where's our
Thank
paper?
you.
We're the ones
Thank
smoking
you.
them, though.
Yeah.
They sell them in America. It says sold in America, but
But
they're
not made
making 'em.
here.
and it leads us right back to the cultivators,
Mhm.
doesn't it? Because with cultivators and this product, it just didn't make sense. If you want to get deeper, talk about all the fuel it takes for a big old barge to go to Spain and back, right? And then David and Nene looked at me and said, what about the jobs? Just the jobs. What
Jobs
about the
alone.
jobs, right? So let's jump off, make a bunch of rolling papers right here from cannabis waste grown right here, and put a whole group of Americans to work while doing it. Like, that's a win and a win, and I think another win somewhere in there too. Not to mention the cleanliness of the paper.
Yes.
No one's throwing anybody under any buses here, Danny, but I would urge a consumer to grab something off the shelf, and if they've got a homie in the business, get that paper tested.
Yeah.
See what's on it. You'll lose your mind.
Yeah.
So
Um,
so what you're saying is you essentially with now with the pattern that you guys have and all the different types of paper, you could essentially create your own rolling paper.
Mhm.
We're-
Then the flour that you're working with, you're gonna use that flour to
go inside the paper.
grind it, go inside the paper,
And the box made of cannabis.
and
that
then the
encases
box
whole
you're packaging
product.
the pre rolls of the say OG Kush just
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
Right.
So you OG Kush flour, use that OG Kush flour to make the pre roll paper,
Mhm.
and then you're using the OG Kush to make the packaging that goes in, and then
Right.
completely circular.
complete the whole.
That would be
Mhm.
the whole.
And it reduces greenhouse gases because now you don't have a whole bunch of stocks going to the landfill, which is harder to break down. So much more comes out of it. American jobs, yes, but it's
Eco-friendly.
eco-friendly. Yeah, the EPA is all over this stuff. It's closed loop, the whole system.
Yeah, and
We're
the
working.
yeah.
Well, and thank you. I basically that was a big conversation that me and my daughter-in-law were having yesterday was about everything being done outside the US.
Mhm.
We are basically putting all that, and now you just said it, bringing all those jobs back, bringing those jobs back to the Americans, and trying to lift this country again to what it was.
Mhm.
Right. Right. Now, one thing, the papers for tobacco are made here. They're made by
Georgia Pacific.
Georgia Pacific, an international paper, the big pulp guys. You would think a company that big, like the tobacco companies, Philip Morris, right? They can
And
do
RJ
their
Reynolds.
and RJ Reynolds. You think they can do their own packaging? No, not unless you have another niche
Another
for fiber source. Because if you don't have that fiber source, you're competing with the big guys who make it. They make like $4 billion a year making that stuff, so you can't really take that away from them. So that's why we're not stepping on their toes. We have our own material to work with, and we want to show the world that look, we could do so much more with this fiber that grows every 2 months. Boom, available. So the more cannabis we have around the whole world, the bigger this can be to be able to make things like toilet paper and countries that can't do it, corrugated boxes.
yeah.
It's also, I think, very important to discuss. Most recently, I think we've tried to pivot and really start to have conversations about big paper.
Mhm.
There's probably not an industry in our country that's had worse PR in the last 30 years. Everyone keeps talking about them cutting trees and et cetera, and it's bad and you use all this paper. But maybe we need to align with them a little bit. Maybe we need to utilize their reach and the capital and their ability to maybe, no, you guys are onto something here. No one's going to take over big pulp. David just said it. No, nobody's looking to do that. We're going to continue to use paper in this country and around the world.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right.
But perhaps let's not demonize one another. Cannabis has been demonized since the beginning of time. David leaned on me the other day and he's like, Jeff, maybe it is big paper. Maybe it is a house that's been around for a long time, that they are forward thinkers like we are. They do take care of the environment in their part of the country, for example. So we did start reaching out a little bit more and looking a little deeper into that side of things.
Yeah.
Because for the long game, we don't want the farmer to even have to pay for the removal of this stock waste. We want to use electric vehicles, big old trucks, clean, farm to farm, get them to different parts of the country to be processed. And again, back to it, just putting people to work, Danny.
Yeah.
I mean, as a doobie guy, right? Smoke our paper. There's just something about it. It's the plant. Of course, there's something
meant to
about
be.
it,
Yeah.
right?
No,
that's,
for sure.
That's what she does.
And what's crazy is like each one of those papers can be essentially a whole different factory and a whole different
Mhm.
company, a whole different stream of revenue and different job opportunities making, because each one of those had a different texture, a different
Mhm.
feel
Mhm.
right.
to it, which I'm sure it's obviously different formulas and different recipes to be able to create, right? So it's crazy. That's
It's-
dope though.
It's a little
Well,
different.
that's-
Yes.
It is.
It-
It's like Jeff said, it starts with the farmers. So
Yeah.
what this does is it provides the farmer an actual way to responsibly get rid of his waste, right? and it's still kept track of. It's still all, everything's logged up for them. And so if they have an audit, look, this is where the trash went, and successfully their stocks come to us. There's enough material to do the cannabis industry, because if we're just rolling our doobies up and making the paper in the box, then that farm took care of that bud, because the stomach of the plant, right? So as much every farmer that makes a deal with us, he can package all of his products, or if he's just a farmer and he's got another company he's working with, we package it for them. It all starts with the farmer. American farmers growing American jobs, one stock at a time, is the way I always say it.
I like that.
That's right. I like it.
And
kudos to you guys.
Thank you. A lot of work behind it. So you got to have a lot of struggle and opposition if you make something new and big. It takes. We don't want the easy route. Easy route doesn't really work. I mean, it'd be nice now, right? We've been through so much, but hey, we're on our 100th wind, just like a lot of cannabis operators out there that are from day one. Been out here since day one working on things, and they took the shop away, and we made some inventions, and we said, okay, well, we'll come back to that part of it, and now we're on stores, we're in shelves, and we got some beautiful stuff to offer to the world.
And here's a big bravo to a lot of cannabis operators out there. A big thank you. Something that's been kind of exciting is folks in this space don't really put each other down. There's mad competition, obviously, and everyone's trying to floss and flex like they should be. But it's really a breath of fresh air when people look at this product, for example, and whether it's admiration or they're just pleased that it worked for them, they're very quick, Danny, to open their mouths and tell other people. And sometimes that's just not the case with the human condition. Folks have that thing called ego, bro, and it's debilitating. So for us, it's just been, David said it, 100th win. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. And those people in this space, you all know exactly what it feels like to have something in your hands, and somebody across the table looks at you, maybe because they have more money, and they tell you no, or they tell you, we're going to do it this way. You guys go sit in the corner. Well, I guess that's where ego comes back around on our end too. And we're not going to do that. We're going to remain really steadfast and continue to work really hard to get this out to people, because it helps and it works.
Yeah. So we saw each other a few days ago at Hall of Flowers.
Yeah.
Right. For the listeners that are listening, you guys want to explain what Hall of Flowers is before we get really into the nitty gritty about what happened?
I think it was a culmination of absolutely thousands and thousands of like-minded cannabis operators, entrepreneurs, distributors. I mean, everybody was there, Danny, as you know. Forgive me if I don't have the eloquence to lay it out exactly who's behind Hall of Flowers, because I don't know.
Right, no, just the basis of it. Yeah,
it was dope. It was just, I mean, bro. For me, getting up there in age, to see all of the products, to see all of the things that people are coming up with, and all of those products then that support in and within the cannabis industry. David and I had a wonderful time. So many great interactions, great introductions. Networking, I guess, is still the buzzword.
Yeah.
But beyond that, bro, it was just, nobody acted a fool. Nobody was upset. Everybody was accommodating. It rained a little bit the second day. Didn't matter a bit. It was fantastic. David,
they ran out of food, but it was all right. I mean, all that great stuff too. All that great shit. But when you run out of food and you're stoned and you want to eat, and you've been on your feet all day trying to talk about all your beautiful stuff to all the beautiful people, hungry.
He came in.
That's the worst place to run out of food.
Well, you know what?
That is the most.
But then we had friends in the next booth. They brought over some beef jerky. They brought over some nut mix, and I was sustainable.
He got hangry, Danny. He got hangry on
hangry, man.
Hangry on the quick. Ooh,
it's funny because the first day he comes back, he's like, "You need to pack me a lunch. They ran out of food. Yeah. I can't afford to do that again." I was like, "Okay, I'll make you sandwiches."
Okay. Yeah, because you guys. So
chicken pot pie, my 3 favorite things.
So for the listeners, this Hall of Flowers happened in Palm Springs. It's
great event. Big.
Yeah, it was a big event. So to hear, if you guys heard this correctly, they drove back home. You guys came back to LA and then drove right back the very next day.
Yes, sir.
That's commitment. I love it. You know, I was gonna do it too, but everyone stopped me.
Yeah. My wife didn't stop me. She's like, you better get your tail back here. We got stuff to do. No, but it just, again, I
It's
will.
good to get out and see everyone there, the
Yeah.
farmers.
But this is really
brands.
noteworthy to bring up quickly, Danny. A big part of why we were back both nights too is that David and Nini have been exemplary in taking care of David's daddy. He's in a battle right now. David has been spot on caring for his dad, helping out mom, helping out the family, Ninvi as well, coming back and forth from the hill doing this. So it gives us pause and it gives us perspective, whether you get too big for your britches or you get too down and you're questioning again,
Yeah.
why, how, why, what. It's a little bit of perspective for us. And I know that at the end of the day, when the dust settles, David feels great about being there for his father.
Right.
And those are, I mean, you can put no value on that time for him or for his dad.
Right.
So that was a big part of why we had to make that desert run right quick. And we ended up grabbing a sandwich down the street at a local something, and
Yeah, for sure.
boom, we were out.
There was there was a Jersey Mike's right down the road.
But it was,
Yeah.
it was cool. It was just,
Yep.
it was really, really, really cool to be there. And
Sometimes you got to sacrifice things.
yeah,
Right?
it's
Yeah.
just,
No, I thought it was fun. It was my first time going to Hall of Flowers, and it was that first day was overwhelming for
Lit.
me. Like it was insane. So much going on, so many people, and it wasn't even that many people the first day. That second day was like doubled, and
we there was a little funny thing to it too. 3 very, I'm sure, upstanding Palm Springs police officers out there in the courtyard, and
I think I saw them.
David and I had to cannabinate, medicate real quick, and those fools were just cool. You know,
Yeah.
just wanting to hear about the cream, and obviously they can't use it right now. We understand that, we respect that, you know. But again, as we progress and things happen, there are a bevy of folks that we can help and industries that are so physical that we know they're currently tested for cannabis. When we can, we'll talk about that too, because O3 is going to be something that's going to knock the socks off of folks, Danny. You're going to essentially have a clean test after using this. We just can't really get into it because of legality and
Sure,
and
no,
things,
for
but,
sure. Because that was one of the questions I text you the night, right? Because I know a lot of people have come to me and asked me, hey, if I happen to use a balm or a cream in a test, will it come up positive on a test? And your response to that was like, well, you know,
And anecdotally, again,
Okay.
we're not going to
Well, I
name
know
any names.
I'm not going to
but
name names,
Sure.
but I know people that use it, and what they do get drug tested, and they do their own personal drug test, you know, on themselves, and they have not flagged for it. So, but I cannot state that
Sure,
you're not
no,
going to
of
have in your system. You
We're
know,
still
I
doing
cannot
R&D
state that.
on the
Yeah.
technology, so
Yeah.
there's certain things we can claim and something that we don't want to claim right now, but we're working on everything.
nice.
On
I'm
the
not-
liability of it, I don't want to be liable.
Yeah,
I'm-
no,
I'm-
absolutely.
I'm not a scientist, so
Right. No,
I'm just
and
gonna
now
say it.
when you guys when we're talking about the plant and how you were creating it, I remember you speaking about it on the previous show,
Yes.
and you said you told their guest, though their host, I'm not the science guy, I'm not going to talk about it. So to then hear it right now, like you guys heard it here first
Yeah.
on the science behind it.
I leave
So,
that to David. and Nini
Absolutely, I
and-
loved listening to the fibers, and because obviously no one thinks of that stuff.
I
Right?
talk to plants. So when I'm talking to the plants, when I say that, you talk to them through their leaves and stuff. So if they're cold, they'll tell you in a certain way how their leaves are. If there's some kind of deficiency, calcium or that type, then you'll see it in the color. If there's mites, spider mites, you'll see little dots on top. You flip the leaf over, they're sitting under there. So you're talking to them, so in order to get them to feel good, right?
Yeah.
But they go through a little struggle every now and then. If you don't let them do that, then they won't be able to take stuff when it really happens, right?
Yeah.
So it's a thing. So that's where my talent lies in talking to the plant. And then they tell me, go out and make these papers. And then I go tell her, and she gets her little science brain, and together we just get on it.
Get it?
And it's funny because I'll tell this real quick story. When we had our shop and we had to close the shop due to Proposition D, it was a legal thing that happened where we had to close our shop. So I qualify for the social equity now because of that, right? So So our friends were like, what's happening? We didn't tell anybody what we were doing. We were working on some stuff. So their friends like, oh, they closed their shop. I think they're going rogue. They're in the backyard with circus tents. They got fibers everywhere. What the hell is going on? They're throwing shit in a grinder. What in the heck? Oh man. So they thought we lost it for a while because you go from a retail store to working on some bigger things.
Yeah.
But we didn't know it was going to be big. We didn't even know we were going to be able to get the patent, but you had to start.
Yeah.
And then we started. And we started with our little journal and our video, and then all the little R&D work we had to do. And we just started it. It sounded nuts, but let's do it. Let's start it. And we got into some things and started learning.
Just the amount of research that I personally did, all the research, all the books I've gotten, like just going through history too, because you have to understand paper, you have to go through the whole history of it too.
Yeah.
And even seeing industries and how paper has changed so many industries in the whole world.
Yeah.
For instance, tobacco paper was a game changer for them. Before, anyone would just smoke it in a cigar or pipe. Paper is what made it take off and make it the industry it is today. So it's amazing to see that. So I'm like,
we're hoping history will repeat itself here.
Oh yeah, it always does repeat itself.
Absolutely.
Well, like you say that, I actually have a prescription that goes back to the 1920s when alcohol was banned. It's a prescription for whiskey. So I actually have that, and a patient gave it to when we had the shop. A patient gave it to me. He's like, "Look, I have a prescription to get cannabis. Look at in the 1920s, this person got a prescription for whiskey because they had some elements wrong with them, so they had to have a cup of whiskey and everything. And we're seeing that history like constantly repeat itself.
Right.
So I always tell people, go look at the tobacco industry, go look at the alcohol industry, go do your research, and you're gonna see how it's transformed so much in our everyday lives.
Yeah.
Everyday lives.
That's dope. I got some questions for you guys. We're gonna do a quick little pop quiz. We're lighting up we're gonna get this going. I'm gonna give you guys 5 seconds. 5 seconds to answer some random questions. These questions come from the highest scholars of the world, all the way down to 2-year-olds.
That's cool.
So,
Let's see where we fall.
First question, Mom, can we get the timer?
You got a timer, Danny?
We're gonna get a timer going. Yeah, every phone has a timer, I think.
This is for real. You weren't playing about the 5 seconds.
We're not playing.
I usually yell at like Siri or Google. I'm like, hey Google, put a timer on.
Put the timer on.
That's what Jeff does. He says, pull out a timer when we're showing people our cream. Get a timer out. Time it. It was 4 minutes.
I do that.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Nineveh.
Ladies first.
You ready?
Right.
Hey, I believe in equal rights. They can go first too.
All right. You got 5 seconds. 5 seconds to name 5 continents.
Continent?
Yeah. Time's
Oh
running.
my gosh,
It's
I'm
Right.
terrible at this.
Continents.
I'm gonna lose.
Go.
Yep.
North
Time's
America.
up.
Yeah, see, I'm terrible.
I'm like, time's up.
See, this drink has already started to get to me. I'm blaming the THC right now.
Not me. I need a doobie.
All right. David, we got you up next.
All right.
Let's see. You got 5 seconds to go ahead and give me 5 different planets.
Pluto, Uranus, Saturn, Mars, Jupiter, Earth.
Ding, 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 ding.
There you go. All right.
That was
Wow.
the 2.
That was all right.
That was well done.
All right. We're gonna go with Jeff. Jeff,
Yes,
your
sir.
question will be. I don't know how to stop this thing. You got 5 seconds to give me your top shows on Netflix.
Oh man, I'm not a big Netflix guy. The only guy in the country.
Oh, any
for
TV.
real. Top shows. 5 seconds are up. That's
5
it.
seconds.
I won.
Danny, that's it. I like Peaky Blinders on Netflix.
Peaky Blinders. That's all right.
I like the Shelby family. I like how they roll. That's a number one for me.
All right. Peaky
Yeah.
Blinders.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go. We got another question for you. This could be for all of you, and we won't give you 5 seconds. We'll give you a few more. I need 5 baby girl names.
Oh,
Alyssa.
Okay.
Monica,
Laura,
Okay.
Landy,
Landy.
Cynthia,
Okay.
Maria,
Maria.
Romina, Ramsina,
Julia.
Julia.
Masharina.
Okay. Are you listening to these, Julia? Because we don't have a name for our girl yet. So we're so we're trying to get a name here.
That's sweet.
But all right, cool. And then last question
How about
for
Sativa?
Sativa. I like that.
I like that.
Sativa.
Sativa.
You heard that? Sativa.
Sativa.
Last question for you guys.
Gotta buy the rights for it.
What's one secret that you still haven't told your mother?
You think I'm gonna tell you right here on this show? dude?
Yeah.
Ooh.
What's one secret you still haven't told your mother? This is because my mom's here, and I'm not saying.
You're not saying
No, of course not. She's here.
one secret I haven't. Whew. Nini cannot answer because
I can
Romina
answer.
will show up here in the
Oh, yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
Don't even trip.
It's okay. My mom knows how terrible I am. I used to sneak my friends in my room. We used to have a rave in the room. We used to put our earphones on, take some ecstasy, and just do a little disco. And then I was like, "You got to get out by 3, though. My mom wakes up to clean the house. So as long as everyone was out by 3:00 in the morning,
You
were
was
fine.
good.
Okay, I guess I can.
That's creative. That's really creative. Now I'm gonna make sure when I see my kids with their headphones. What are you listening to? What are you doing? All right.
Since my mom is listening out there, hi Didi, we love you.
Hi, Didi.
The one secret I think I haven't told her is that I smoke cannabis.
I think your mother knows that, Jeff.
David.
He didn't tell her.
There's a few of them, but one time I got one of my uncles so high he shit his pants. That's real. Uncle Beto, Uncle Blackie. It was we snuck off, and the family would always tell me, don't go off and get everybody high. Well, we ended up doing it, but he had a bad experience. Don't tell your parents. I said I won't, so I couldn't tell them.
Sorry, Uncle
So,
Beto. Secrets out.
Don't tell your parents.
What about you, Mom? What's one secret you haven't told your mom?
Huh. I forget my secret, so I will have to tell them again.
I
a
try to
good
get
one.
one out. I try to get
CRS.
one.
She suffers from CRS.
Exactly.
All right.
What about you, Danny? What is the one secret that you haven't told me?
I'm a virgin. All right. So I know you guys, when you guys started your work, you started off in facilities here in LA, right? And then we've mentioned it briefly, but you guys then connected with Seventh Wave. How did that connection happen?
Well, I already lived in Humboldt, right? And Timo was coming back and forth. Timo Espinoza.
Yeah.
And he was coming back and forth. And I had met him through a friend. I have a lot of friends up there, and we help each other network. And they said, "Hey, you got to meet this guy, man. You just got to meet him." And so he had told Timo the same thing, and we just got introduced by a mutual friend. And it's funny because I saw him working, and he was working on his spot, and I was just starting in LA. And I was like, I got to go back and forth. I live in Humboldt now, and I'm got to go down and start this business up. So
Yeah.
I had Jeff down there, so I had help, and Timo was just like, I told him, I said, he saw, I gave him my cream. I gave him, this is what I'm making. And as soon as his licensing had gone through, he'd call me out of nowhere and say, "Hey man, no disrespect, I know you got your thing going in LA, and I just want to let you know I'm open, bro, to let you come in and work with us and be a partner here and work and sell your cream."
Yeah.
So he saw it's people like that who see the vision. He's a good friend. He saw the vision. He saw smart, and so he gave us an opportunity, and it's a blessing. You don't get much of that. As Jeff said, there's a lot of SWAT downs, less help, and this was a good, and so we had already known each other.
Okay.
And it was funny because as he was asking me that, the way the universe works, it was our time. It was our time.
Yeah.
Time to go up there, and it just worked out. The whole thing worked out like it was supposed to, and yeah, it's a blessing to be part of Seventh Wave. And we have a lot of things that we're going to be working on together. So
That's good. Yeah. No.
him and his wife Eliza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
When we had Elisa on the episode, I think 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And then we've had them on the first season
Okay.
of our show. But I'm always talking with Timo. They make fun of me. Julia makes fun of me all the time because I'm always on the phone with Timo.
Yeah, they're a husband wife duo like us.
Yeah.
So it goes real well.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
You guys are parents. Both, all of y'all are parents. No.
No.
I'm dog parents. And we're
Yeah.
dog,
Dog
parents.
parents?
Yeah, we have pit
Yeah,
bulls.
we're
Okay.
dog parents.
Okay.
Our lives are dedicated to cannabis.
Just cannabis.
Until now,
Um,
maybe.
My wife Landy and I have we have an angel in heaven named Massimo, and yeah, God needed our little soldier up there.
Yeah.
I think more so than we needed him down here. So it's a beautiful thing in the end. It's not deeply rooted in sadness and tragedy because for our part of it, Danny, we're better folks.
Yeah.
We're better people. Um, you wish and wish and wish, of course, right? But life is life, and life can be hard. And I know for one that my boy is looking down on me, us, and I know that he'd be proud of this work.
Right.
So I will not stop. I will not stop. I will not, because it's not about me. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than David. It's bigger than Minnie. This is this is something that changed the world. I know that sounds a little flighty, a little kumbaya, Danny, but
Nah.
they probably said the same thing to Ben Franklin or these other fools that brought all this cool stuff that we use every day.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for me to say anything different. This paper is going to change the world, and I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Proud to have him on board. Is
And I
it-
do have one question for you guys. So as you know, I'm from Miami. So are you guys gonna be able
Good
to
question.
send this to Miami? Can we go to your website and order it? Because let me tell you, we are in Miami. There is really, really bad laws about it, but there is a lot of people that we are in need for it.
Eventually, yes. As of right now, the way the laws currently stand, we can only operate inside the state of California. So the cannabis is, as it's grown, it's regulated all the way. It goes to cages, it gets tested, and it's followed, right? So it's state to state, has its own program. But eventually, as we get right now, we're the little brand that can. But as we move forward and we get into other states, yes, we'll bring our innovative product to other states. Can't wait.
I'll see you in Miami soon.
Yeah,
Mama.
we will see you. But our goal is to capture the California market first. This is where we're at, and so we're doing everything we can to from the Bay to LA, and that's what Seventh Wave helps out with too. Distribution avenues, having the avenues to get to LA, the Bay. So yeah, but we'll be in Miami one day.
Yeah, once that federal ban is lifted, then we can cross state lines. That's
Nice.
gonna be the day.
Yeah.
And trust me, there is a lot of people waiting for it because, like I said, I work in the medical field, so we see that there is a need for this,
And I like the cream. Like we opened it up.
and
It's undeniable.
It
Smells
smells good.
It smells really good. It doesn't smell like cannabis or
Yeah.
at least not what you think.
Yeah, my biggest thing. Okay, so when I'm making that product,
Yeah.
my biggest thing that I would drive me crazy in this industry was everyone put menthol, lavender,
Mm,
eucalyptus, tea tree oil. And I'm like, nobody wants to smell like that. Nobody wants to go around smelling like Tiger Balm. Even when people are wearing Tiger Balm, nobody wants to smell like it. Everyone's
Right.
like, what you put on you? Get out of here. That stinks. That smells. But that I went with a very neutral smell. So, boys, girls, whatever, whatever. It's a neutral smell. It's nothing crazy strong. And it's safe enough to go on your face.
Yeah, I put it all right.
You could put it on your face. Like, we
Wrinkles,
see this cut right here that I walked
scars.
into a wall. I've been using it to heal my wound on my face right now.
no, where I guess where I was going with the kids thing too was, can I give this to my child? Like, is that something that I
I
can-
can't.
I'm not
You
gonna
can't.
go say
we
you
can't
can.
Got you.
say that.
I hear you? I mean, it feels nice. I like
They
the
have
way
to
it feels.
be 21 and up.
They got to be 21 and up.
Yes.
That's the best answer. Got you.
21 and up for cannabis in California.
What are some other goals that you guys have for the new year that's coming up?
Well, The BOGO is part of the goal. Working with several farmers, but starting with a couple that I'm trying to make a model where, hey, like Jeff was talking about earlier, let's provide a home for some of these guys to be able to share in on some of the products that we make by not going, oh, I want it for this much, 300, 400, keep playing that game,
Yeah.
but to pay them more for that beautiful work, give them more of a, here's your one job in the world. You don't have to worry about the dance after you're locked in and here you go, and keep that farmer farming. And that's one of my goals. We all have our goals. He's got his goals for his jobs, and Nini has hers, but that's mine, is to get that sealed, that relationship with the farmers,
Yeah.
and get that beautiful cannabis. And if I got to pay a little more for it, that's what we do.
Right.
Yeah, mine would be the SKUs, to come out with different SKUs and
Okay.
maybe some other scents. So having different flavors of the product. So people, they don't. That one's more of a citrus blend, but I want to work on other blends.
Gotcha.
So we can hit other
I
markets.
saw on the website there is one coming soon.
Oh yeah, those were the smaller jars, because
Okay.
these ones are the 2 ounces. So we're coming out with a 1 ounce and a 1/4 ounce, so people can actually try it. So they're not obligated to buy the big bottle if they don't like it.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
want to
I
get.
think we've
PGM.
seen the
Mhm.
smaller one.
Yeah, that's
the
the
smaller
ones we
ones.
give out samples with,
Gotcha.
but it's just to have people try it, because
Yeah.
some of the companies out there have duped people. So they spend too much money on it and they don't like it. So that's what we want them to be able to try it first.
Yeah, we got a lot of work to do in that department. If you look at the wellness department, it's only 3 to 8% of the market.
Mhm.
But there's some big companies that were in there that make big revenue. So it's not, there's just some clarification to be made there. Let's not sell Rolex anymore made in China. Here's a real one type thing.
Right.
So we figure we're the company that's innovative. My passion is to grow cannabis. That's how we got our shop in the beginning, was growing great, beautiful cannabis that brought me into the shop. They said, grow back here until we just own the shop. So that's the focus, was the flower. And that's what we're about, is just bringing more innovative products.
Well, and a product that is affordable.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because what that retails in shops right now is about 65
Yes.
the most. Between
65.
51 and 65 for 2
Okay.
ounce.
That's not
I
bad
just
at
wanna-
all.
Yeah, because our main goal was we need everyone to try this,
Yeah.
and we're not trying to break the bank.
Yeah.
We're not trying to break your bank.
And we're not trying to say you Budweiser for the price of champagne.
Yeah.
We want to give you champagne at an affordable price, but the real product, something that's going to make a change and do something.
And let me ask you this: how difficult is it for reorders at shops, or like the turnaround, knowing that something like this, like when you purchase flour, right? You're gonna smoke it. You're back probably the next week or two. With this, like, I'm gonna be sitting on this for a minute, right? Or generally,
It does depend on the person too, Danny.
Okay.
As you mentioned, a supplemental application, call it the weekend warrior syndrome. You go out and do something, the shoulder hurts, and yeah, for sure, you're going to see that.
Mhm.
But again, like my mom, every day for
Yeah.
her, it's an everyday thing. My mom loves crochet, for example, and this product allows her that very thing. She can work away on her crochet as long as she puts her cream, right?
Yeah.
So I do think it depends on the person.
Yeah.
If you use it every day,
It's about like a month and a half,
About-
2 months.
about a month?
and a half,
Okay.
2
My
months.
father goes through like 2 to 3 jars, so it all depends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the
It all
Do you guys
depends.
have a target audience for this, or it's just everyone?
Yes,
You want it to
we
be
do.
okay.
If you have skin, you are part of our target audience.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yep.
If you have any of these elements, you're our target
Ailments,
audience.
ailments,
Yeah.
yeah.
Got you.
Acne, psoriasis, all these types.
But-
Have skin.
But
I
truly,
like that.
Danny, all jokes aside, man, I think a big part of our goal for 2022, aside from world peace, we're going to bring this paper to market
Yeah, that's a big.
in 2022. Honest to goodness,
working
we're going to
on
bring it to market, working on some things. And as far as the serum, as Nini said, we really want to get these SKUs out.
Yeah.
We are going to do some things differently. David mentioned really briefly a face mask, but we've been toiling with some things, and we're going to come out with like a 50 milligram face mask. So this in front of you and your mom, that is non-psychoactive, very low dose cannabis. We understand that, but we're going to offer some different things. And the way that this is applied, it's going to be a lot of fun. We got some bath bombs coming, the aforementioned face mask, some really beautiful body butters and lotions that we think folks are really going to enjoy because it can also just take the edge off. It can be I'm put my lotion on after my bath or my shower, and I'm gonna chill.
Right.
So it's
Same
gonna be-
activated
it's gonna be
oxygen,
fun.
just in different
Right.
SKUs. Yeah.
Got it.
Developing different products.
Yeah. No, I like that. I love it. Where can our listeners find your products?
In Los Angeles, we are at it's Gorilla X
Gorilla
Wellness.
RX.
Gorilla
Gorilla
RX.
RX
Gorilla
Wellness.
On Crenshaw.
Yeah.
Women owned, black owned.
Yep.
If you have not been to that shop down
Go.
on Crenshaw, go.
It's a beautiful
Right.
shop.
Go
It is.
today.
It's a little gem.
Beautiful.
Go tomorrow in the rain. Lovely shop. MMD North Hollywood is another one here.
Okay. North
Um,
Hollywood.
Yes.
Got you.
In
That's the one on Lincolnshire, no?
yes.
Yeah.
In Humboldt,
Humboldt, we are in Zen Buddha, Proper Wellness, the Heart of Emerald.
Heart of Emerald, yes, and what was the other one? HCC,
HCC.
Humboldt County Collective.
Got it.
Humboldt County Collective.
we're gonna make a blitz on this state this year, God willing, up and down the state, giving everyone an opportunity to do it, use it, love it, and just keep pressing, Danny. Hall of Flowers actually was a wonderful opportunity for that very
To meet
thing.
a bunch
Yes,
of other buyers.
we did talk with a gaggle of distributors, from up north, of course, all the way down to San Diego. So lots of work to do, of course, but we're very, very excited.
Right.
That was part of what sparked the BOGO. Said let's give something away that's worth it.
Yeah.
27%, 28%. See some real stuff that's gonna hit them, and then Grandma can get her relief. And then now it got the product to the house. So that what happens is everyone tries it, and they all come up with different things while they use it.
So, quick question, then that just sparked a question. Does the percentage of the flour that's tested change the formula, or does the effects of the serum? In any way?
That's not that big of an
No.
effect.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
'cause
when we're
it's
extracting
the-
it, it's different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're taking the beautiful nutrition and stuff inside the plant omegas and the plant fats and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but the trichomes, what that does is it can add like a terpene, more of a flavor thing for in the future.
Got
we're
it.
working on, but like for the most part, it's just the plant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we put the best in it though.
Right.
High testing stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah, because there's other benefits from cannabis that we haven't seen yet. We just really know about THC and CBDs.
Yeah.
But there's like all the plant fats that are in it, omega 3s, omega 6 and 9s that we're not seeing out there. But it's in there and it's really highly beneficial. Even the vitamins that are in cannabis alone
Yeah.
that are beneficial to the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are different SKUs that we're working on too that have more that will. This SKU needs this.
Yes.
There are going to be some where we maybe we do want a face mask. Soccer mom could relax
Yeah.
too. So that yeah,
Dad
some
too.
some are
I want to
different.
relax
Dad
too.
too.
Some are different.
With
Yeah.
my 3 girls, we'll just be chilling with our face mask, like
Right.
when they're 21.
Of course.
Rejuvenate your skin and revitalize your mind at the same time, basically.
What about beard oil?
Coming.
It's
coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It
We
has
have
to
I'm
come.
just I'm very particular on
It cleans.
smell.
And it
Okay.
Right.
I'm very particular on it. So I
Yeah.
want to make sure like it's pleasant where you're gonna have because it's gonna that's on
Be
your
here
face all day.
so you got
Ninvi's,
Yeah.
Ninvi's worked out a and I have a beard for those listening, not on the YouTube feed that see us. But I like you have a beard.
It's a nice beard. Too.
Thanks, Danny.
Yeah.
Ninvi has worked out you ready? Brown sugar and fig scented beard oil. It's wicked.
Brown
you feel
sugar
like you want to
and
eat it.
fig.
Hey.
Brown sugar and fig.
Eat me up, girl.
have
So
some-
good.
like this one smells like lemon cake, right?
Yeah, no.
Right,
yeah.
right,
They all have
Yeah.
a certain smell to them.
Nice beard oil. I like that.
Coming.
You know, I was always saying I've always thought that terpene cologne should be a thing somewhere.
That'd be
Maybe
cool.
you guys can make that happen. Hopefully, but
Well, that's why I'm really big on smell. 'cause
Yeah.
nobody wants to smell like certain smells. You just don't like it. Like I remember, when we had the shop a long time ago, there was, a couple patients that would come in and I knew exactly what Axe deodorant, spray perfume, every little thing they wanted. I'm like, hey, Ari, is that you? How'd you know it was me? I could smell you from all the way from the back,
Yeah. It was at one of the booths that I saw at Hall of Flowers. I want to say it was Ursa that they're big on their terpene. They even had their little terpene, and then they gave me the card, and they were like, "Smell it." And I was like, "Wait, what? You guys sprayed the card?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Yeah." I was like, "This is amazing." I was just walking around like this.
That's how you revive an old turkey bag of weed. Spray it and
Yeah.
bring it back to life. That's old days.
We got the chat lines here. Congrats, guys. Love what you guys are doing. Excited to try it out. I have sensitive skin, and it's always so much work finding something.
Amen.
I have very sensitive skin. So anything you put on my skin, like even when it comes to laundry detergent, like I can't use any of the ones that have scents in it. So that's why I really formulated this product too, for me personally too. So because I have very sensitive skin. So, and this is the one thing that does not irritate my skin.
Nice.
Yes.
Thanks, B, for that one. Look at you putting in gems even when you're not here, B. I love it. I love it. All right. Where else can our listeners find you guys as a business? Websites, social media.
Yeah, we are popping, guys. Not really, just teasing you. No, we're on Instagram at Pauwels Cannabis Cosmetics, Pauwels Cannabis Cosmetics, and the Pauwels Company or the Pauwels Company. Both have independent websites. Jump on, drop in your email, become part of the fam. We'll get newsletters out to you, new stuff coming, more BOGO information, obviously. And yeah, just jump on, listen to our nonsense. We try to share a lot of good stuff. And another goal, Danny, forgive me before I forget.
I know, I got one too.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this. We are very, very committed to those less fortunate as well. Okay. So when we have that ability, plans are in definitive effect to help homeless communities up and down the state of California. It's a thing out here, if there's folks that aren't aware. And I always contend that no one really signed up to be homeless.
Right.
I've met a lot of homeless folks, and no one's told me this is my life goal.
Yeah.
So with that said, we're going to create some great posturing with other companies. We've talked to a few already, and cannabis will be very much on the forefront of that. David's got some plans in the back room to do some things.
Yeah.
So that's another goal, is to continuously give back, and remember that every day in which we live is an answered prayer.
True.
So that's that.
Thank you for that. David, you say you have one last goal?
Yeah, our main goal for our company is to see every cannabis product in the future covered in a cannabis packaging, because that means it didn't go to the landfill, it didn't create greenhouse gases, and that means we have jobs right here. So
yeah,
so that's our whole goal. Before we talk about making stuff in other countries, I want to have American cannabis packaged in American cannabis waste, and that's our main goal.
I love it. I love it.
I love
Thank you.
that.
Mom, you have any last questions before we wrap up?
When will be basically, is there a timing where anybody can buy your products, your papers, any companies to set up that, they want like to get your papers out there instead of
After you.
Well, actually, we're in talks right now with companies. If you think about it, there's several elements to this, right?
Right.
So we have contracts with waste companies to be able to collect the waste. And we have contracts that we're working on with producers that could help us produce it, right? And then there's the other way where, if you produce it on your own this way. So there's two things happening right now, and God knows which way it's going to go. But all we know is we completed this baby, and we're in the works and talking to other cannabis companies, other paper producers, and we're putting things together as we speak.
If you'll have us, Danny, perhaps when this big announcement is ready, we can come back and share it with you guys.
You guys
Yeah,
always
stuff
have
we
an
can't
open-
legally
Love that.
discuss
you
because
guys
of
have an
paperwork.
open invitation.
Thank you, man.
But we do have it in the
always-
works,
Nice.
and so it's It's probably a couple years, a year and a half out, maybe even way sooner. It
Lots
depends
sooner.
on a couple of things. And I
My-
can't talk too soon, but yeah, just stay humble
Yeah.
and keep working.
B said here, have you heard anyone use it for skin allergies? My wife normally uses ointments with steroids. We would love for her to get off of it.
I've heard people use it on skin allergies and it works great on hives.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't know.
situation. B.
I just need to know everywhere the element is, like, because I do have patents on what it does cover.
It's really well said. Steroids are kind of the go-to for a lot of derms, and our bodies, after a while, seemingly kind of reject that stuff. So you will find great relief in a daily topical transdermal. Forgive me, if that's the route that you take. And yeah, absolutely, without fail, without question. I have a friend who had a fungus on his nail for 7 years. This derm, this cream, that injection, nothing was doing it for him. And he used it. 36 days later, gonzo. No remnant, no scarring, no nothing. So we've really, again, I know it's anecdotal and I know it's easy to talk about stories, but when people take the time to contact us and tell us this is exactly what happened, send a picture, send another picture. We've got people in our lives that are uncomfortable to some degree with the way their skin looked. And that was preventing them from wearing shorts or skirts or nice sandals or something. And those days are over. They've got the relief that they sought. And it came from cannabis, right? Cannabis and oxygen. David keeps talking about it. We talk about it because nobody's done it, Danny.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's such a resounding amount of power and strength when these two properties come together, that's what's really going to grab the consumer, by the what, man. It works. That's it. It works.
Yeah, it definitely works. I
Well,
I like the feeling towards it. Yeah.
He just
Mhm.
had hand surgery, so they just removed the stitches today.
Oh yeah, it will
Oh,
help
yeah.
with relief because the thing
Yeah.
about the ozone, it helps the cannabis go all the way down to the bone. So it's going through all those dermal layers. So, for instance, if your product has beeswax in it, it clogs your pores. So by the time your skin does absorb it, you already wiped it off.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about our product, allowing your skin to open up. That's what the oxygen doing. It's opening up your pores and allowing the cannabis to travel through and do what it needs to do, and
So-
allowing that oxygen flow to go through the whole blood system and everything right there.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
'cause
yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
starting the
important.
healing process.
One last question from me. On this one, I heard it's for the pains, so it will
Mhm.
help the pains, and this same cream is gonna help for the eczema
Mhm.
and
Yes.
Yeah.
Same formula.
and psoriasis and anything on the same.
All in the
Yes.
same formula.
Bottle.
That's the base
Yes.
formula. That's why
Yes.
release anything? But once they know how great this is, then yes, we can apply all this same technology to the feet for fungus. It's great for fighting fungus because it's a cleaner. So it starts cleaning and it's got coconut fats and plant fats, and the fungus disappears and goes away.
So one
That's
little
why it's
bottle.
cosmetic.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
Why it's
one little
cosmetic.
bottle.
Cosmetic.
Mhm.
The everyday.
Yes. Yeah.
So one little bottle basically
Not just another
it's
salve.
Yes.
for all.
That's it.
Yeah, I
I
put
love
it on my dry hands to put it in my hair as as my moisturizer for my. Put it on my skin. If my back hurts or my shoulder hurts, I rub it on there. It's very universal, like for every little everyday needs.
You can put a little dab in on your toothpaste with your toothbrush, just on
Uh-huh.
the side, and brush it, and you can feel it clean.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Side note,
We should have started here.
I'm
Exactly.
I'm quite a dog person, like my co-parts Ninveh and David. My wife's a dog trainer here in Los Angeles, and I removed a mast cell tumor from our big boy Luigi in 21 days. Quickly, if you're not familiar, mast cell tumors are just a huge deposit of histamine that then turns typically into an ulcerated tumor on the dog's skin. Oftentimes removed surgically by veterinarians, of course. And given our experience, consulted with David before, of course, and went after it religiously, and it's gone. So again, guys, I'm not telling you to put it on your dog, right? But put it on your dog. It works.
Put it on your dog, guys. Put it on your dog. We have Angelina. Congratulations from Sync SF.
Oh, and
Shout out to you
Angelina,
guys.
Yeah.
What
Ivan
up?
Angelina.
Yep. They were in the booth with
Yeah,
us. so
yeah,
we
yeah.
had
They-
a great little synergy
Fantastic
going.
family, fantastic
Absolutely,
Great
and
people.
we're looking to have them on the show soon. So
All right.
I'll be hitting you guys up, and we'll want to have you guys here.
Thank you, Angelina.
Last thoughts? Any last words you guys want to put
Um,
out before?
If any of the listeners try our product, please contact us. I love feedback. We all love feedback. We
Yeah.
want to hear from you. We want to know your experience. Even if you don't like it, please
That's
tell
okay.
me. Please
Yeah.
tell me. I love to hear that.
Yeah, I haven't
That's
heard
the-
that yet, but-
That's the part I always want. I always want to hear the bad stuff.
No, yeah, I want to hear the
because
good,
I
the
want to
bad,
be
and
able to
ugly.
hear. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone, I feel like every time you ask that, they're just like, "Oh yeah, you did good. You did this." I'm like, no,
Yeah.
tell me
Tell me how it happened.
tell me what really
yeah,
happened.
exactly. Like I want to know every little aspect
yeah.
on how you feel. Like even if with the people that don't like it, I want you to tell me why you don't like it. I really
Yeah.
want to know so I can make it better so you will like it one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, and I mean to the listeners, if you have tried it or if you are gonna try it soon or go to the shop, please give me your feedback. I love to hear feedback and I will respond back to you. We all
Perfect.
three will respond back to you.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll definitely, guys, reach out. Let them know. Gorilla RX, all those shops in Humboldt. Hit them up. Hit them up. All right, so we're gonna close out. For our listeners, again, we're here every Monday at 4:20, live from the TGN Latinx station. We have, you can also tune in through the Good News Radio app. Uh, Follow us on Instagram at Ced Connects, CED_connects. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Episodes will be streaming live through the radio app and on YouTube, and then you'll be able to find the episode on Spotify and Apple after Wednesday. We want to be a special shout out to our social equity sponsors, Seventh Wave. They're one of our sponsors. Joyous 420 out in Oakland, and Bianca Star Agency in San Francisco. Want to thank everybody that's tuning in. Want to thank you guys. We really appreciate all of you tuning in every Monday or whatever day you listen to us. Really, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and spending your time with us. Want to thank you guys, all of you, Jeff, David, Nina, to come by and spend some time with us. Really appreciate you guys for making the drive down to us. And with that being said, we'll see everybody next week. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
And we are done. YouTube gets to see us a little
Thank you, guys.
bit
Thank you.
after here.
Cool.
How was that?
I felt great.
If
How do you
Dalia's
feel?
up, hi
It
mama.
was-
So the next show
Thank
will
you.
be when we're launching with
I
the
bet.
company we're talking about.
Right.